Welcome, Cancer Files, to the NPP Studios, formerly known as Nubian Public Podcasts. I am your host, Twan the Don, now known as Big Juan. Just wanted to throw this together for you for a brief news moment, and I really have to tell you about Super Bowl 59 and how Jason Kelce breaks down in tears over confusion about him supporting Eagles over brother Travis. Now, he can do whatever you want. Jason, you can support whoever you want, and I'm all for that. It's just crazy that they would go there. But you know, I guess now both brothers had some type of bad blood against them. I don't know. I may be speaking prematurely about that, but it goes on to say from New Heights reporting, says former Philadelphia Eagles star Jason Kelce got emotional while discussing his dilemma over his brother Travis Kelce's Super Bowl loss. The pair discussed the outcome of Sunday's big game, which saw the Eagles triumph over Kansas City Chiefs. No three-peat for you guys. 40-22 during Wednesday's episode of their podcast called New Heights. Now, Jason claimed that before the game, there was a misconception that he or whatever was rooting for his brother's former team to win and not his brother. And here's in quotes. On one hand, you played your entire life with an organization and team, end quote. Jason said about his time at the Eagles, quote, a lot of people in that building, coaches, friends, teammates that you've gone through adversity with, and it really makes you very, very close. That is all he could say about that. I don't know where it was going, but let me go ahead and play you guys a big clip from that. Well, maybe not. We'll see, though. We'll go ahead and yeah. Let me play you guys a clip from that. Check it out.
That does not take precedence over rooting for you.
Yeah,
and that's why this game sucked. It was very, very hard to watch. As much as I love the Eagles, as much as I love the city of Philadelphia, there was not a fucking ounce of me that. And I know that, like, I don't know. I tried to correlate that I was rooting for both sides the whole time and that I was going to be happy and sad regardless.
That's what I
No
heard.
matter who won, it was going to be a happy and sad regardless. That does not take precedence.
And that was brought to you by The Independent. And that was their podcast, both of the brothers podcast that they hold. And it's called New Heights. But I found that very interesting that, you know, he would get a little bit emotional about that. I guess if you really think about it, and he didn't want his brother to be like, hey, you know, you're rooting for the opposite team, and, you know, I don't know. I thought that was kind of sweet, though, from him, though. But here's a quote, though. Some people were going to skew it and say that I'm rooting for the Eagles, and some people were going to skew it and say that I was rooting for the Chiefs or Travis, he continued, and it sucked. Travis praised Jason for the work he has done with the Eagles over the years. And he also told his brother that he's heard his support loud and clear. Jason's voice, on the other hand, then began to break as he added, and I quote, "All that is true, we are still very much attached to this organization, which is why there is part of me that obviously is very happy and proud that they have won this game," end quote. Travis then reminded him that, hey, his support for the Eagles, I quote, "doesn't make you less of a brother," end quote. Jason chimed back in, adding, quote, "That does not take procedure over rooting for you, and that's why this game sucked. It was very, very hard to watch," end quote. After pausing to regain his composure, he continued, and I quote, "I tried to correlate that I was rooting for both sides the whole time, and I was going to be happy and sad regardless." Continue quote, "No matter who won, it was gonna be happy and sad regardless, and trying to communicate why I might be rooting for the Eagles. You root for who you want to, but hey," however, he stopped himself again saying, and I quote, "I don't even want to do this." So yeah, he got a little too emotional and decided to not go ahead and continue the podcast, which he eventually did. Travis told his brother he didn't owe any critics the acknowledgement, and that anyone who knows the former Eagles star knows his intention. Now, that is quite remarkable. The morning after the Super Bowl, Jason issued a lengthy statement on X, formerly known as Twitter, to congratulate the Eagles and his former teammates. And I quote, "I knew it was going to be mixed emotions before, during, and after, and I now know what my parents had to deal with 2 years ago. On one hand, I wanted what is best for my brother and to see his success," end quote. Quoting again, "And on the other hand, there are so many people, teammates, and coaches in the Philadelphia Eagles organization that I care deeply about, many of whom I owe my own success to throughout my career," end quote. He ended his post by saying, or sharing a message to his brother, saying that while he's, quote, "always rooting for Travis," end quote, the tight end didn't need or want his pity. He has amassed greatness few on this planet could ever dream of as his own team, and they should feel pride in their accomplishments this season and in the past, Jason added, and that was in quotes. During the New Heights episode, which again is their podcast, Travis addressed the brutal Super Bowl loss, explaining he, quote, "couldn't find a lack of momentum," end quote, when playing at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. He goes again to say, and I quote, "I'm kicking myself for some of the tiny decisions I made on the field. I wasn't the best leader that I could be in motivating my guys and keeping my guys calm, cool, and collected. It's a tough pill to swallow. It's a hard reality, man. I love my teammates. I love my coaches. Chiefs Kingdom, I'm sorry for how it ended." No three-peat for you guys, but he did keep it real. He did keep it sincere for you, which deserves all the respect. The Independent is the world's most free-thinking news brand, providing global news, commentary, and analysis for the independently minded. We have grown a huge global readership of independently minded individuals who value our trusted voice and commitment to positive change. Our mission, making change happen, has never been as important as it is today. And that is from the brothers, and that is from their podcast. And that is reminiscing back to Wednesday's Super Bowl game. Now, I really hope that they don't fall out over this, because everybody roots for who they wanted to root for. At the beginning of this Super Bowl, I had Philadelphia all the way. So it's not like I'm riding coattails because Philadelphia won the Super Bowl and blocked KC's three-peat. No, that's not why it happened. Anybody will tell you I was rooting for Philadelphia because you knew, it's just something in you that knew that a three-peat was not in the books for KC. Eventually, they were just going to have to sit down, and they did. They took their loss very well. They really didn't, get a sore butt over it. Mahomes played a good game. Hey, you could have done 1,000% better, Mahomes. But I think the pressure was so deep on you that, they had you in the pocket 6-7 times. And you were trying to get out of that pocket, search downfield for an up throw, and it just wasn't there. You threw these intercepts. I think it was because you were under pressure. So nobody's going to fault you there, my dude. You still are a phenomenal player. And may you continue to do what you do. You know what I mean? Got a clip here from the Chiefs head coach, Andy Reid, and he talks Super Bowl 59 loss to Eagles. And this is from Kansas. Their affiliate, KMBC. I'm anxious to hear what this brother's got to say. Take a listen.
In terms of fight on the field and his leadership off the field.
Yeah, listen, he did a good job. The guys battled all the way to the end. Did some nice things at the end, but it was too late, Go ahead. Oh, there.
I was just asking, what adjustment did you try to make during halftime? I don't feel like they panned out.
Yeah, we went a little no huddle. It didn't work as well as we wanted it to. So, yeah, that was one of the adjustments.
What happened with the running game versus the passing game and the level of passing was?
Yeah, well, we got down. Yeah, so we threw the ball probably more than we would want to going into the game, but felt like it was important that we did that. Just get back in.
He felt it was important to keep that ball in the air.
Listen, I don't think so. I mean, it's hard playing in this. I mean, this is a tough game. It's best against the best, and so I think they're more focused on that than they are three-peats and all that stuff. That wasn't a big issue there.
That was Coach Andy Reid on his perspective of the Super Bowl that night. Even he said, you know what? We weren't really interested in a three-peat. We just wanted to get out there and show the world we made it to the Super Bowl and that we could win. Unfortunately, that did not happen. But, hey, you know what? We'll see how 60 looks with the Super Bowl. Now, people are asking, okay, we are here in Wisconsin. What will the Packers do? Do you force? And this was actually a poll that Fox 6 Milwaukee had taken with their listeners. And that poll was, where do you see the Green Bay Packer in the Super Bowls 3-4 years from now? Will they make it? Will they not? Do you have faith or don't you? Surprisingly, Wisconsin is so loyal with their fan base. The majority of Wisconsin, I believe it was like 60+% that actually agreed that the Green Bay Packers will make it to the Super Bowl in, next 3-4 years. But that's just so far down the line. What are we talking about? 63? Super Bowl 63, somewhere around there. So, who knows? Who knows if we're even going to be around that long? Don't know. Who knows if Packers are still going to have the same QB? They may just let little dude go. We don't know. But, that is just my opinion. It's my perspective on things. That's just how I look at it. Hey, but as my boy LeVar Burton says, you don't have to take my word for it. We'll be right back. This is the Cancer Files. So I guess bottom line is Jason Kelce going to retire? And he's talking about it. He's planning on it. Will we hate to see him go? Maybe. I mean, he's a phenomenal guy, and we may hate to see him go, but I guess what it comes down to is true brotherly love wins over a game. So, but yeah, that's my take on it. So, well, anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here, guys. I just wanted to bring this story about the Kelces, and one of them's got their handful with Taylor Swift, and the other one's got his handful with worrying about the other one with Taylor Swift. It's just a round and round circus thing there with these guys. So you guys take care. Have a blessed one. This has just been a quick sports moment brought to you by yours truly, Big Juan. This is the Cancer Files.